and welcome to Newsroom series right here on Channels Television, and our focus today will be from the southwestern region. Before then, we'll take our top stories this hour. We'll begin in the court where the Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed the November 14 judgment by Justice Peter Alifu of the Federal High Court restraining the People's Democratic Party from proceeding with the November 15 and 16 National Convention in Ibadan without affording former Governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, the opportunity as chairmanship candidate. In a unanimous judgment, a three-member panel of the court held that the convention held by the PDP in Ibadan on November the 15th and the 16th, in defiance of a valid subsisting order of the Federal High Court in Abuja, was contentious and disrespect to the court. The court also says that it was not in dispute that the appellants, that's the PDP, proceeded to conduct the convention despite a subsisting order directing it to provide an opportunity for Mr. Lamido to participate. The court faulted the argument by the PDP that it went ahead with the convention in obedience of a judgment of another court of coordinate jurisdiction. It also held that it is not for any party in the case to decide on which order to obey or ignore. The court further held that what the PDP ought to have done was to have applied for a stay of execution of the judgment, or order better still, lodge an appeal against that judgment. The court condemned the appellant's contentious conduct, holding that the trial court was right to have assumed jurisdiction over Mr. Lamido's case and granted the reliefs he sought. It also proceeded to dismiss the appeal filed by the PDP for lacking in merit. The court also awarded a cost of 2 million naira against the PDP. And staying with the Court of Appeal in Abuja, which has dismissed the appeal filed by Governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, against the ruling delivered on November the 24th, 2025 by a Federal High Court in Akure in a suit challenging his eligibility to contest the next governorship election in the state. In a unanimous judgment, a three-member panel of the court held that the Federal High Court rightly exercised its discretion in issuing the November 24, 2025 order granting leave to Dr. Akindele Egbewale, who is the plaintiff in the suit, to amend his originating summons. Justice Uchechukwu Onyemenam, who read the lead judgment, held that Mr. Aiyedatiwa failed to establish that the trial judge's exercise of the court's discretionary right in granting Mr. Egbewale's application to leave to amend occasioned injustice against him, and then denied him the right of to fair hearing. The court proceeded to dismiss the appeal for lacking in merit and awarded a cost of 2 million naira against Mr. Aiyedatiwa. Earlier, the court dismissed an application filed by the governor asking the court to set aside the order it made on January the 27th, staying further proceedings in the suit before the Federal High Court in Akure. The Court of Appeal held that the order did not amount to arresting the judgment of the trial court, but it was an order made by the appellate court in the lawful exercise of its jurisdiction to protect the integrity of its proceedings. The court also said the option opened Mr. Aiyedatiwa was to appeal to the Supreme Court. It then proceeded to award that cost of 2 million naira against the governor. And back in Ondo State, 32 permanent secretaries have been sworn in by the state into the state civil service. Speaking at the ceremony in Akure, the state capital, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa asked the new appointees to raise the standard of performance and strengthen service delivery in line with the administration's development blueprint.
Dignitaries, civil servants and well-wishers fill up the Culture and Events Center in Akure, the Ondo State capital, for the swearing-in of the newly appointed permanent secretaries.
I would like to recognize the head of service, it is royal fathers.
The appointment is part of the state government's efforts to strengthen the civil service and improve service delivery. In his welcome address, the head of service charges them to demonstrate diligence, loyalty, and impartiality in the discharge of their duties, noting that the position demands integrity and dedication to public service.
Your Excellencies, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, as confirmed in the Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter number 4, verse number 21, by the appointment of this set of permanent secretaries in the season of the Jubilee anniversary of our state, And in addition to all service enhancement initiatives of Your Excellency in the past 1 year.
Addressing the gathering, the Governor of Ondo State, Loke Aiyedatiwa, describes the appointment as a recognition of the officer's years of stewardship and commitment to the service.
Your new office comes with a weighty burden of responsibility. I urge you to raise the bar of performance in furtherance of our administration's commitment to translating our developmental blueprint, our ease policy trust into tangible dividends for our people and our communities. This is your sacred duty and the very essence of your elevation.
Responding for others, one of the permanent secretaries pledges their renewed commitment to efficient service delivery and to supporting the development agenda of the state government.
We consider this elevation not only a great honor, but also a solemn call to greater responsibility. The office of a permanent secretary represents the pinnacle of a professional career in the public service, and we are fully aware of the enormous responsibilities attached to it. We therefore assure Your Excellency of our commitment to uphold the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, diligence, and loyalty in the discharge of our duties.
With the swearing-in of the 32 new permanent secretaries, the Ondo State government says it is reinforcing the administrative backbone of the civil service to enhance the efficiency and strengthen policy implementation across ministries and departments.
And in Lagos State, the Deputy Governor, Kadri Hamzat, has asked youth to take proactive steps towards shaping their future by staying focused and developing practical solutions to societal challenges. The Deputy Governor gave this advice at the Bile Youth Academy 2025-2026 one-day leadership summit in Alausa in Ikeja. He reaffirmed the state government's commitment to intentional leadership development for young people.
It's the 2025-2026 Ibile Youth Academy One-Day Leadership Summit with the theme From Potential to Power, Equipping Youth for Leadership in a Changing Lagos. The Lagos State Deputy Governor, Kadri Hamzat, the State Head of Service, Olabode Aguru, former Head of Service, Hakeem Muriokola, and other state officials joined the Ministry of Youth and Social Development at the Adeyemi Bero Auditorium to educate the youth from the 5 divisions of the state on leadership qualities and nation building.
In this center of governance, let it remind us that governance is strongest when young people are prepared to lead with competence and character. I encourage you all to engage actively, network intentionally, and commit yourselves to lifelong learning and service.
Aligned with Mr. Governor's Teams Plus agenda, which ensures social inclusion and gender equality. We now live in a new story of youth leadership, a new story of global competitiveness, a new story
Other speakers also admonished the youth to maximize opportunities given to them and prepare intentionally for the future.
Youth development is not an afterthought, it's a priority. It's an investment in future. The Ibile Youth Academy is here to stay. It is now the responsibility of the new leadership to take it to the next level. Leadership is discipline. Leadership is preparation when no one is clapping. You cannot demand a great Nigeria if you are not building yourself to lead one. So this room is full of people building themselves, positioning themselves to lead a nation that is the biggest black nation in the world.
The Deputy Governor calls on the younger generation to commit to lead with integrity and serve with compassion towards unlocking the state's potential for growth and development.
As a people, we cannot measure wrong things. We must measure the right things. People will say to you, oh, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that. But they will tell us that our education is bad. But UK is recruiting our doctors. So the education is bad. They are recruiting your teachers. They are recruiting our nurses. Our banks are losing staff, IT staff going to Canada all over the place. Don't let people define us. This is a great country.
The Ibila Youth Academy has grown into a formidable platform for grooming young leaders, and another group of 10 future leaders selected from across the 5 divisions of the state is unveiled by the Deputy Governor.
Everything you have been taught at the Ibila Academy, good luck and see you at the finish line.
50 of those who emerged as winners from the divisional training program will take part in the boot camp for Ibila Youth Academy, a leadership training program designed to equip young people in the state with skills and values for nation building.
And staying in Lagos State, the State Public Works Corporation says that 791 roads was rehabilitated in the last quarter of 2025, and over 31 roads have been fixed in 2026. The General Manager of the Lagos State Public Works Corporation, Mr. Tokunbo Ajanoku, made this known during an interview with Channels Television. He says rehabilitation work is currently ongoing across the 5 divisions of the state, especially in the Ikorodu area of Lagos. Mr. Janoku also spoke against the vandalization of manhole covers across the state, urging residents to protect public infrastructure.
You know that government is a continuum, and as such, if you are asking me to give you 2025 details as against 2025 alone or as a continuum, I'll give you 2 figures. The first one is a 791 for 2025 as a standalone, and by the time you add the about 35 roads that we're working on presently in 2026, so that means you'll have 2 figures, 791 plus 30 minimum. You will notice that we're working around Lasuiba. That one has just been recently completed. We're working around Jonathan Koka in Iju. That's Iju Road itself. We're working all over Lagos. In Agege right now, we're working on that Ile-Zik corridor. In Badagry, we're working on about 15 to 16 roads. We're doing massive grading works. Same thing in Ekpe, same thing in Ikorodu. Oluwa Moju, we're working on in Ikorodu right now. So all of the roads in the old Ikorodu division are receiving attention as I speak with you. One of my biggest problems with bad roads in Lagos now is abuse. Intense, intentional, very destructive abuse of public infrastructure. It's something that we're battling with, and it's very, very sad. People are cutting our roads indiscriminately.
The Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Petron, has warned that the pump price of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, may hit 2,000 naira per litre amid the ongoing Middle East tension. The national president of Petron, Billy Gillis Harry, gave this warning in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, while delivering a keynote address titled Deconstructing Energy Trilemma, organized by the Department of Petroleum Economics and Policy Studies at Ignatius Ajuru University of Education. Mr. Harry says the ongoing conflict by Israel, the United States against Iran is now pushing global oil prices to unprecedented levels. Meanwhile, the association has called on the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPCL, Bayo Julari, to facilitate the immediate commencement of production at Nigeria's local refineries, especially the Area 5 plant at the Port Harcourt refinery and the Warri refinery. Petron is also asking the NNPCL to urgently strengthen domestic refining capacity as a strategic step to shield Nigeria from the global market petroleum shocks. But just last week, Dangote Refinery had warned that petrol prices will hit 1,000 naira per litre, while fuel stations are currently selling the commodity above that price. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has raised concerns over the alarming rate of human trafficking and irregular migration cases among youths recorded across the country in recent years. The Ogun State Commander of the agency, Bosade Jimo, expressed concerns during the sensitization program on illegal migration and irregular migration held at the Lafenwa Market in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Shin says the agency has rescued about 100 victims, arrested 70 suspects, and secured 3 convictions in the past 2.5 years of its establishment in the state.
Human trafficking and irregular migration remain major global challenges, and Nigeria is not exempt from the scourge. Beyond threatening national security, the crime is often driven by poverty, conflict, and the absence of legitimate migration opportunities. Many victims are lured with false promises of better lives abroad.
Many victims are lured with false promises of employment, education, or a better life abroad, only to end up in situation of forced labor, sexual exploitation, abuse, or even death. As women journalists, we understand the immense power of information. Our role goes beyond reporting events. We are committed to advocacy journalism that enlightens, empowers, and drives positive social change.
The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, and Police Officers' Wives Association are strengthening public awareness about the scourge in Ogun State.
The volume is much in Ogun State. There is no day we don't receive cases of human trafficking. We also receive victims who came back with HIV. Their cases are also in court. But what we do as a NAPTIP staff is when we receive such girls, we counsel them properly, we rehabilitate them, we empower them, we reintegrate them so that they will blend into the larger society, so that they will not feel the past. Are you getting me? So that is what we do.
Meanwhile, wife of the Ogun State Commissioner of Police, Olubusola Lanre Ogunlowo, reiterates the Police Officers' Wives Association's commitment to supporting women and youths through opportunities that discourage vulnerability, alongside sustained awareness and community vigilance.
When people have access to education, to information, to jobs, and accurate information, they are no more blind because of the information that they have. When you have an information, then nothing is no more hidden. Everything now is in the open. So they are less likely to be a victim of people that their interest in only to exploit. Their interest is only to abuse.
Participants emphasized that tackling human trafficking requires sustained collaboration amongst government agencies, civil society groups and communities, with economic empowerment awareness seen as key tools for prevention.
In Ekiti State, the police has gotten new divisional headquarters, 6-man rank and file accommodation to improve intelligence gathering for effective policing and adequate security across the country. The governor of Ekiti State, Biodun Yebanji, has joined officers from the Nigeria Police Trust Fund to commission the new divisional police headquarters. And this move is expected to further enhance operational coordination, intelligence gathering, response time, and community engagement. Addressing journalists in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, Governor Yebanji, represented by the Chief of Staff, Oyeniyi Adebayo, commended the Nigerian police force for the good job, saying that security remains the bedrock of economic development of any country.
Supposed to guarantee safety of lives and property. That can only be possible if the officers and the men and women of the police force are comfortable and well motivated. And one of the ways in which you can bring comfort and motivation to them is to make sure that they have great office accommodation as well as good residential quarters. So what we are here to do today is to commission 2 projects. One of them an office complex, and the second, a complex that is for residents that can accommodate up to 6 families for rank and file of the police force. So for me, what this does is it provides comfort, and it provides a basis for the police force and the officers to feel well looked after, to feel well catered to, and because of that I believe they'll be motivated to do their work. Not just motivation from an emotional standpoint, they also will be able to apply all of the tools and the equipment that they need to do their work effectively.
We're mostly looking into rehabilitations, except from building new structures like this, rehabilitations of facilities of the Nigerian police force. His Excellency mentioned in his state, he talks about the maintenance of properties. There's been a bad maintenance culture over the years, which is what we want to try and change and instill now, is we make sure that these infrastructures are very well maintained. So we are going to go into rehabilitating most of police infrastructures, training facilities specifically. As we mentioned, the welfare of these police officers are quite critical, and how they are trained also is quite critical for them to be able to discharge their duties effectively as police officers for us to secure our nation. So we look at it as, for you to be able to increase their morale, you need to be able to provide facilities that they feel much comfortable in, not just working but also residing in.
The commissioner representing Oyo State at the Federal Character Commission, Prince Ayodeji Abbas Aleshinloye, says the leadership of the commission will vigorously pursue equal distribution of infrastructure, employment opportunities and social amenities in the public service to reflect fairness, equity and balanced interpretation and representation amongst all states of the Federation to foster greater harmony and equity. Prince Aleshinloye, who noted that the commission is one of the tools of justice for social development, also described it as integral to national development. He made this promise at his maiden press interaction with journalists in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. He also says that all is being done to ensure that no section of the country is marginalized in federal appointments, infrastructure distribution, social amenities, policy implementation and access to national resources.
I want to assure the good people of Oyo State that their interests and concerns remain well represented at the Commission. We are committed to ensuring that the state receives its fair share in federal opportunities, while also encouraging merit, competence and professionalism in public service. To the dedicated staff of the Commission in Oyo State, this meeting also marks the beginning of a renewed partnership. Your role in implementing the policies and directives of the Commission is critical to achieving our collective objectives. I urge you all to remain professional, committed, and transparent in the discharge of your duties. Together, we must work to strengthen monitoring mechanisms, ensure compliance among federal establishments, and promote awareness about the importance of federal character in national development.
Staying in Oyo State, the newly inaugurated chairman of the All Progressives Congress in the state says that the party has been restructured to take all interests into consideration with the aim to foster unity, strengthen the party and ensure success in its upcoming elections in all the 33 local government areas. The swearing-in ceremony, which was conducted at the party secretariat in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, has put new executives into office to steer the party's affairs for the next 4 years. The newly elected chairman, the deputy governor of the state and the governor pledged their own commitment to ensuring the party's future success, while also asking members to work with him to resolve all internal crises and bring everyone to work for a common purpose.
I want to pledge on behalf of my colleagues that this ESCO will be a fair, just and puts the interest of the party above any other interest. We are mindful of the plight and fate of our party members who have stood solidly behind the party despite the travails. We will be open to dialogue, sincere engagement, and constructive criticism. We will not claim we know it all, and we are ready and willing to listen to you all this time and consider your opinions too. Our state is willing and ready to join other states being controlled by APC.
I want the women to know that we are in a new dawn. We are coming together as one entity to work together in unity, and that is the symbol of our party, the bunch of the broom. We know that when we come together, nothing can stop us.
And with less than 6 months to the Osun State governorship election, the All Progressives Congress, the APC in the state, has continued to record large number of members from the People's Democratic Party and the Accord Party. Hundreds of members of the PDP and Accord, the ruling party in Osun State, officially defected to the APC. The DCAMPs were led by the former vice caretaker chairman of Ondo LCDA, Sikiru Adeboye, to receive the party flag in Okuko in the local government area. They were officially received by the APC State's Chairman, Tajudeen Soko, with other APC leaders in the state, Sikiru Adeboye, who is now the new member of the APC. Some party leaders expressed optimism that the defection will have positive impact on the party's future and its fortune in the forthcoming governorship election. They're now asking members of the APC to participate in the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise. That's Newsroom series for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu.